working.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. This is my review for the Spin Strike Dino Knight Red Ranger from Power Rangers Dino Fury. This is a larger scale figure, if you can't tell just from the space. It's kind of a larger scale, like maybe 12-inch figure compared to like this is like a standard size, Lightning Collection figure. So you can see that there. And its purpose is basically fun. This is more of a toy geared towards kids. I mean, all of the toys are geared towards kids, but you know what I mean? Like it's less of one that you would think of for your collection and more about the gimmick that kids will enjoy. However, it can make a solid display piece. He does come with two weapons here. You have right here a version of the main saber, the Chroma Fury saber, which is just done in two different styles of plastic, which looks fine, kind of your par for the course, almost basic figure level stuff. There is a nice shine to the silver blade though. And then you have the Dino Knight morpher here, which actually is pretty well done. You got all kinds of different versions of plastic on here. This very easily could have just been a solid red piece or a solid gold piece or a solid black piece, and I do appreciate that they made it look like the show as much as they could, which is nice. And they do fit into his hands right here. Oh my god, his arm's broken! No, I'm just kidding. But he doesn't have much articulation because that's kind of not the point of the figure. You can move his head, which is really nice. You can even move it up and down, as well as side to side. I said it like a robot, I don't know why. But I do appreciate that because this figure isn't meant to sort of be more of an articulated thing. I've always mentioned that even when it's minimal, stuff like the head articulation can give it a lot of personality. So if you do want this for a display on your shelf, just him looking up there kind of epically at the stars, or in this case, my ceiling, is just kind of a nice touch, and I appreciate that. And other than that, the only thing he can do is he can move his arms around 360, and you saw he does have elbow articulation. Like, he cannot move his arms out, like there's no hinge here, which in a way seems weird, but at the same time I think I know why they did it. And you can't move his legs because of the gimmick. Like, everything here is like a solid piece. It's almost like this is a Frankenstein's monster of a sort of articulated figure from this way up, and then down here is like almost a statue figure. But the whole thing with his gimmick is you squeeze his legs together, kind of like those old school figures, and whee! That's actually kind of disturbing. But it's actually pretty cool. He spins the whole half of his body around. It's actually kind of, like I said, disturbing. It almost seems like he's undead and can do that. You can see all these lights flashing. You got it right there in the middle on the symbol. And then these little kind of almost rock, like mountain-looking things going on up there, which is kind of neat. It actually looks really cool. Like, I mean, I'm having fun with this as an adult, but I can imagine kids would probably really get a kick out of this, and I think the lights actually look really nice. And when it's dark, it actually looks pretty cool. So it's actually pretty neat. I think it's a very fun toy for kids. What I was going to say is I think the reason that you can't put the arms up with hinges is I imagine either, maybe I'm wrong, and they were just lazy or something, I don't know, but I think that it's because they don't want kids like pulling the arms out and being able to use this as a weapon, or like, not intentionally necessarily, but it might hurt kids more. I couldn't help but think, kid part of my brain, this would be cooler if I could put the arms out because it would be like he was doing a helicopter attack. And it reminded me of those old toys from the 90s. I don't remember what the other names were, but there were these ones called dragonflies where you'd pull a ripcord and the little copter would spin and they'd fly up, and that's kind of what this reminds me of, and that's what I thought of when I wanted to put the arms out. So I kind of wish you could do that, and I kind of wish you could do it just because then it would be a nice mix of a sort of articulated posable figure and kind of fun. But setting aside the fun gimmick, this guy honestly isn't that bad looking. Like, he's not going to replicate the sort of metallic, darker red look from the show. It is definitely a more, for lack of better phrasing, toy-looking red. It looks a little cheaper. But it actually doesn't look half bad. Setting that aside, it's got all the plastic details you need. It's not like it's one solid piece of red plastic. You do have a little bit kind of basicness back here, but who is posing theirs like this? Like, there's my display. I mean, I guess do what you want, but you're doing it wrong if you're doing this. Like, in terms of this, you have all the basic details you need, and if you just thought this was fun looking or wanted something like kind of reasonably priced and you stuck this in your Dino Fury display, it's kind of a cool, like, decent looking, larger scale Dino Knight Max Reusable Red form. Like, it's not something I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, it's basically a Hot Toys, go get it. But it's not half bad for what it's supposed to be. I actually kind of dig this toy. It's not the most amazing thing, but I think on two fronts here. For kids, I can definitely recommend this. I think if you have a kid, they'll get a kick out of this. I think it's a lot of fun. Again, the inner child in me is really enjoying it. I think it's kind of a cool looking toy, and then the spin feature is fun, and I think the lights actually look really nice and bright and enjoyable. But I think if you're a collector, and you really like this suit like I do, this is one of my personal favorite suits, even for kind of being more of a gimmick purpose toy, it doesn't look half bad on display. Again, it's not something that's going to knock your socks off, but it's not half bad for that. If you're interested, I think if you like what you see, you might not be too disappointed in it. But that's about it for this one, guys. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.